Riku had always been noticeable, not just tall or muscular, but the kind of presence that pressed against the air like it owned every inch of it. Walking down the hallway of their freshman dorm, he leaned against the wall with that casual confidence Haru had envied since middle school. Even now, years later, Riku seemed untouchable, calm, unshakable, and impossibly magnetic. Haru, by contrast, had always thought of himself as dangerous. Teachers feared him, kids in the neighborhood whispered about him, and his reputation had survived scraps and fights that would leave most trembling. But somehow, Riku always overshadowed him. Even as Haru grew taller, stronger, more brash, he couldn't shake the flutter in his chest when Riku's gaze fell on him. The first week of college dorm life had been rough. Haru tripped over his own backpack while trying to carry a laundry bag down the hallway. Riku was there in an instant, catching him with a firm grip, smirk tugging at the corners of his lips. "You okay, loser?" Riku asked, voice smooth, teasing, and infuriatingly calm. Haru's heart jumped. "I am fine," he barked, attempting to shove off the tension, but his pulse betrayed him. Riku's gaze lingered, slow and predatory in a way that made Haru's alpha pride twinge with unease, and something else. A dangerous, flaring desire he hadn't admitted to anyone, not even himself. "Right? Fine," Riku said softly, but the smirk didn't leave his face. He stepped aside, letting Haru pass, though his eyes lingered like he was cataloging every reaction, every flinch, every nervous twitch. Haru wanted to yell, to push him away, but his body didn't obey. "I'm supposed to be the dangerous one," he thought, heart hammering under Riku's effortless dominance. "You're impossible," Haru muttered. Riku's eyes softened just a fraction. "Maybe, but maybe I like impossible." Haru froze, heat flooding his chest. "I want him to dominate me," and that terrified him. The dorm room was a war zone of freshman chaos. Haru's side was littered with books, snack wrappers, clothes, and a beanbag he claimed as his territory. Riku's side was minimalist, almost sterile. A skateboard leaned against the wall, posters neatly aligned, a desk where every pen had its place. "You really do overpack," Riku said, tossing a textbook back onto Haru's side like it was a test of patience. "Shut up," Haru muttered, face heating. He felt his stomach flip when Riku leaned closer to drop another book. The slight brush of Riku's shoulder against his made him almost stumble, and he clenched his fists to keep his balance and his dignity. "I mean it. You don't have to try so hard to look tough," Riku said, voice soft yet carrying infuriating calm authority. Haru blinked. "I am tough," he snapped, though the sharpness in his voice betrayed uncertainty. Riku's smirk hinted he'd caught the crack in Haru's armor. "Go, study or something," Haru muttered, shoving a textbook at him.
I'm Buse.
Riku caught it easily, smirk still in place. "Right? Busy pretending you're the scary one." Haru groaned. The flush spreading across his neck and ears wasn't just embarrassment. It was something more. Why does he make me feel like this? The question scared him. He was supposed to be alpha, dominant, untouchable. Yet Riku's presence made him question everything. That night, Haru lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling. Riku's words, his smirk, the way he looked at Haru like he already owned pieces of him he didn't know were vulnerable. It all spun in Haru's mind. He hated that he wanted it, that he wanted Riku to be the one in control. Classes started in earnest, and the subtle tension between Haru and Riku grew like an electric current, unspoken but impossible to ignore. Haru caught himself sneaking glances at Riku more than once as they walked across campus. The way Riku's shoulders relaxed naturally while Haru's own posture was sharp, rigid, defensive. He'd always thought of himself as the alpha, the dangerous one, the guy who made others flinch, but Riku had this effortless magnetism that made Haru's chest tighten and palms sweat. Lunch in the cafeteria was a battlefield of nerves. Riku slid into the seat across from him, casual, confident, his gaze casually inspecting Haru's tray as if judging every choice. Haru's stomach did that stupid fluttery thing, the kind he hated feeling in front of anyone, especially him. You didn't eat breakfast? Riku asked, tone flat but with that subtle inflection that made it sound more like a statement than a question. I had cereal, Haru replied, trying to sound nonchalant, but the words felt clumsy. You call that breakfast? Riku smirked, eyes glinting. You'll get nothing but headaches if you keep this up. Want me to pack your meals for you? Haru's chest burned. Why does he make me feel like this? He was supposed to be the dominant alpha, the one in control. Yet Riku's calm, aloof presence made him feel like a teenager panicking in front of his crush, which was infuriating. He stabbed at a piece of fruit with his fork, avoiding Riku's gaze. I don't need. You do, Riku interrupted smoothly, leaning slightly closer, letting just enough of his scent and warmth brush against Haru. We both know you'd rather fight me than admit you're not handling this. Haru's breath hitched. The way Riku said it, almost teasing, almost accusatory, made him want to snap, to push back, and yet lean closer, to feel the weight of Riku's dominance pressing gently over him. He was supposed to be the dangerous one, supposed to intimidate, and instead he felt small, exposed, and ridiculously vulnerable. Don't get used to this, Haru muttered, voice low, cheeks burning. I'm still alpha here. I'm still. Sure, Riku said, eyes softening, smirk teasing. Keep telling yourself that, while I enjoy watching you crumble a little. Haru groaned, stabbing another piece of fruit, trying not to imagine what it would feel like if Riku's hands were on him in a different way. His pride flared and then melted in the exact same instant. College life meant new rules, but old habits died hard. Haru and Riku had a history of pranks, teasing, testing boundaries, and freshman dorm life was fertile ground. One afternoon, Haru snatched Riku's hoodie from the laundry pile and ran, laughing like a maniac. The hallway was empty, giving him the perfect stage, until Riku's voice cut through the air, calm, amused, and slightly dangerous. Hand it over, Riku said, voice low but carrying authority that made Haru freeze mid-step. I'm the dangerous one, Haru shouted, chest puffed out, adrenaline pumping. Riku's smirk widened, and without any effort, he was beside him, hands firm on Haru's shoulders, stopping him cold. Haru's body tingled where Riku's fingers pressed, just enough to assert dominance without being rough. Not to me, Riku said softly, voice teasing, lips curved in that infuriating smirk. To me, you're just cute when you panic. Haru's heart leapt, then hammered. Him? Panic? His alpha pride bristled, but underneath it, something warm and dangerous simmered. He wanted to push back, shove him, yell, run, but also lean in, feel Riku's hands everywhere, and let the tension crush him in the best possible way. Shut up, Haru muttered, though his voice cracked slightly. You can try, Riku said, brushing a stray strand of hair from Haru's forehead. But I know you too well. I know exactly how much control you've got, and how much you're hiding. Haru's chest felt tight. Why do I let him get to me like this? I'm supposed to be in control. I'm supposed to be the scary one. And yet, every second in Riku's presence, every smirk, every whisper, chipped away at that illusion, making him dizzy, flustered, and terrified of how much he wanted to submit. A sudden rain caught the dorms off guard. Haru dashed out, backpack clutched to his chest, but his foot slipped on the slick pavement. In an instant, Riku was there, steadying him, hands firm around his waist. The warmth, the weight, pressed against him in a way that made Haru's alpha instincts whine in confusion. You okay? Riku asked, voice low and steady, carrying that infuriating mix of concern and quiet dominance. Yeah, Haru muttered, trying to disentangle his flustered emotions from the simple question. But Riku didn't let go. The faint brush of Riku's thumb against his lower back sent a jolt through him, making him want to pull away and press closer at the same time. The rain poured harder, soaking them both, but Haru barely noticed. He noticed the way Riku's hair clung to his forehead, how the muscles in his arms flexed as he held him steady, the steady, calm rhythm of Riku's breathing. Everything about him screamed dominance, control, security. And Haru's body betrayed him completely, heat pooling in his chest, pulse hammering. "You're ridiculous," Riku murmured, thumb tracing a lazy line over his spine. Haru's mind short-circuited. "Ridiculous? I'm losing control around him. I want him to take over. I don't even know what I want." Riku's eyes softened, still playful, still smirking. And yet there was that unshakable confidence that made Haru feel both weak and unreasonably safe. Haru gritted his teeth, trying to fight the craving, the desire, the urge to let Riku dictate every movement. "You can't just stand there," Haru muttered, voice barely audible over the rain, even as he secretly hoped Riku wouldn't let go. Riku leaned closer, whispering, "I'm not going anywhere. You just have to trust me." And for the first time, Haru realized that maybe, just maybe, giving up control wasn't surrender. It was something more terrifying and more exhilarating than he'd ever imagined. The dorm was quiet, the hum of the heater and the rustle of papers the only sounds as Haru and Riku sprawled across the floor with textbooks scattered between them. Haru's pencil hovered above his notebook, but his eyes kept flicking to Riku, who leaned over the page with that infuriatingly calm expression, the dim desk lamp highlighting his sharp jaw and intense eyes. "You're thinking too hard," Riku said smoothly, resting his chin on his hand, gaze fixed on Haru's scribbles. "It's simple math, not rocket science." Haru bristled. "I know it's simple. I'm just concentrating." His voice cracked, betraying the agitation simmering in him. Every time Riku leaned close, the faint brush of his arm against Haru's made him flush, made him want to shove the books aside and pull Riku closer, even as his alpha pride shouted at him to assert dominance. Riku smirked faintly, reading the twitch in Haru's expression. "You know," he murmured, "you'd be a lot cooler if you didn't try so hard to prove you're the dangerous one." Haru's pencil dropped. "I am dangerous," he shouted, cheeks hot. "You just overshadow me sometimes." "Maybe," Riku said, voice low, teasing yet soft. "Or maybe you like it when I do." Haru froze. His heartbeat slammed against his ribs, and a hot, frantic flutter went through him. Does he know? No, he can't know. Yet the words dug into him, unearthing desires he'd buried under years of pride and bravado. He was supposed to be the top, the dominant alpha, but now, under Riku's gaze, he questioned everything. Riku leaned closer, just enough that their shoulders brushed, warm and dangerous. "Relax," he whispered. "You don't have to fight me. You can just trust me." Haru swallowed, mouth dry, and nodded once, almost imperceptibly. The alpha in him wanted to resist, but the other half, the part that craved warmth, protection, and dominance, thrilled at the suggestion. That night, as they packed up their books, Haru realized that some fights were worth losing. The next morning, the cafeteria buzzed with the chaos of freshman life. Haru tried to stake his usual territory at a table, only to find Riku already sitting there, smirking as though daring him to complain. "Move over," Haru muttered, voice sharp, trying to maintain authority. Riku didn't budge. Instead, he leaned back, hands casually behind his head, gaze lingering on Haru in a way that made him flush. "Why? You're not exactly intimidating this morning," he teased. Haru bristled. "I'm fine. I don't need to be intimidating to you." Riku's smirk widened. "Sure. Whatever you say, dangerous alpha." Heat rose in Haru's chest. His alpha pride bristled, but his body reacted before his mind could catch up. The casual way Riku's leg brushed against his under the table made him flush, heart hammering. He clenched his fists under the table, trying to focus on food and not the overwhelming desire to just lean into Riku's warmth. "Why do you always do this?" Haru muttered, voice low, almost a growl. "Do what?" Riku asked innocently, though the smirk never left his face. "You know, make me feel," Haru faltered, cheeks burning. He couldn't bring himself to say the words aloud. "Make me feel smaller. Make me want to submit. Make me want you." Riku tilted his head, expression unreadable but calm, almost as if he knew. "Make you feel what?" You're panicking again. Relax. Haru groaned, hiding his face behind his hands. He knows. He knows exactly what he's doing. Riku leaned closer, shoulder brushing his. It's fine. You don't have to fight it all the time. You're still my alpha. But you can let me take over sometimes. Haru froze. Heat pooled in his chest, cheeks burning. He wanted to argue, to assert dominance, but the suggestion, soft and teasing, was intoxicating. He was supposed to be the dangerous one, but around Riku the rules no longer applied. Later that week, Haru was rushing to class, backpack swinging, when he collided, literally, with Riku in the hallway. Books tumbled everywhere, papers fluttering to the floor like startled birds. "Watch it!" Haru shouted, bending to gather his notes. Riku crouched beside him, helping pick them up, their knees brushing. "Careful," he said smoothly. "Wouldn't want my dangerous alpha to get hurt." Haru froze, chest tightening. "I can handle myself," he spat, though his voice lacked conviction. Every casual brush of Riku's hand against his skin made his thoughts spiral. He was supposed to be the one in control, but Riku made him feel dizzy, flustered, and submissive in ways he didn't want to admit. Riku's gaze lingered, teasing, amused, patient. "You're cute when you panic, you know?" Haru's blood ran hot. "Shut up!" he shouted, shoving Riku lightly, though not hard enough to hurt him. His pulse raced, adrenaline mixed with something more dangerous, more thrilling. "Cute, huh?" Riku said softly, leaning closer, the faint scent of his cologne enveloping Haru. Or maybe irresistible? Haru's mind short-circuited. Why do I want him to say that? To do more? The prideful alpha in him shouted to resist, but the other half, the part he'd buried under bravado and posturing, ached to lean into Riku, to feel the security and dominance pressing gently over him. By the time they both stood, papers back in Haru's backpack, neither spoke, but the tension hung in the hallway like a live wire. Haru's chest burned, heart racing, and he knew, without admitting it, that things between them were about to get far more complicated. It was past midnight when Haru found himself sitting on his bed, staring at the ceiling. His mind replayed every encounter with Riku that week. Every smirk, every brush of skin, every teasing remark that made his chest ache and pulse race. He hated how much he wanted it, how much he wanted him. A knock came at the door. Riku stepped in, arms crossed, casual as always. But there was a softness in his gaze Haru hadn't seen before. "You awake?" Riku asked, voice low. Haru groaned. "I can't sleep. You've ruined me." "Ruined you?" Riku's smirk was faint, but there was amusement in his eyes. "You mean, made you feel?" Haru's face flamed. I don't know what I feel. I'm supposed to be the alpha, and you make me feel small, like I want you to take over." Riku's smirk softened into something unreadable. "I've wanted that for a long time. You just didn't realize it yet." Haru's breath caught. The confession, soft, teasing, and intimate, made him ache with desire, pride, and fear. He wanted to argue, to fight, to assert dominance, but his body, his heart, his racing thoughts all screamed for surrender. I can't." Haru started, voice trembling. "You can," Riku whispered, stepping closer. "And I'll be gentle. Trust me." Haru's pulse thundered in his ears. That single word, trust, was both terrifying and exhilarating. For the first time, he realized that being vulnerable with Riku didn't make him weak. It made him alive. The rain had started again, soft and insistent, as if the universe was conspiring to force them closer. Haru rushed from the library, books clutched to his chest, only to slip on the wet steps. Before he could hit the ground, Riku's strong hands wrapped around his waist, steadying him, holding him flush against his chest. "Careful," Riku murmured, voice low, teasing, dominant. "I can't have my alpha getting hurt. I'm fine." Haru stammered, heat burning across his face. His alpha pride roared, but he could feel the tremor of something more beneath it. The desire to lean into Riku, to let go, to feel him. Riku's thumb brushed along Haru's lower back. That small, casual touch made him shiver, pulse hammering, chest tight. He wanted to pull away to assert dominance, but he also wanted something else. Something forbidden. "You're ridiculous," Riku whispered, voice soft yet commanding. "You can try to fight me all you want, but I know you." Haru's breath caught. He knows. He always knows. The rain poured harder, soaking them both, but Haru didn't care. The world narrowed to Riku's arms, his steady presence.